Danny, I guess you said it, kind of some weird fights and some, just kind of interesting. I guess overall, how did you feel about the night as a whole?
It was a good night. There was good fights, The one fight I was talking about that was super awkward was super awkward. Weird fight.
Talk about the guys who brought in Portillo, bringing him in, even though he lost a little bit the first round. I'm just curious, when you're evaluating guys, like, is that a knock against them if they lose a round, or do you almost like to see kind of going through adversity?
I love to see it. I love to see, different things. I love guys that literally get that kid put on a clinic on him in the first round. You go back to your corner, compose yourself, you come back out and you fix the things that you did wrong in the first round, you win the fight. It's incredible. I love them when people do that.
What about Hill? What was it that convinced you? As you said, he's inexperienced. I mean, the light heavyweight division, especially at the top, man, it's tough. So
Who?
Jamahal Hill.
Yeah, Jamahal.
Yeah. So what was it that kind of pushed you over the edge?
Well, the first round, I was like, I think this kid's too young. He needs a little bit more experience. But his opponent was tough, durable, moving forward, trying to win, hit hard. And you saw the guy take some big body shots and shrug him off. And he was a tough guy. He fought, and the way that kid came out in the second round and went after him, I was like, I might be wrong. You have to watch the whole fight instead of judging the guy on the first round. So
when you bring a guy in like that, do you realize this is that experience? I mean, do you tell the matchmakers, hey, let's slow play this guy a little bit, or just once they're in, they're in?
Listen, you know how it is here, man. This is a fucking when you're here, it's all killers, man. It's literally all killers. But I love when we get to see these kids fight here on this show. I mean, we see some of the most amazing fights on this show, and to be here live in such a small venue and watch these things play out. Like I told you, every other season, I could do this every Tuesday for the rest of my life.
What about Woodson? I mean, as you said, people are going to want to take him down. So, I mean, What was it that you said, I got to have that guy?
What?
Yeah.
I don't know. If you're going to ask me that question, you must not have been here. That's the second crazy flying knee we've seen in a week and a half, 2 weeks. And, there's no secret. He knows he's got to go home and work on his ground game some. But his takedown defense was good. And, the kid that he fought is an absolute stud.
Right.
He fought an absolute stud who I believe fought a very weird fight tonight. How long he stayed on the back and he didn't try to get the mount or move anywhere else when he was so dominant on the ground. Then when he decided to get off his back, the way he let go, scooted out, stood up and backed up was really weird.
Yeah.
And it obviously didn't work for him,
So the fact that Woodson came in on such short notice, did that add points?
Short notice, the way he fought, when the opportunity was there, he took it and landed one of the second most beautiful flying knee we've seen in a long time.
The last thing for me, the last fight, the main event, so to speak, Williams, you thought he won the fight. I think a lot of people thought he won the fight. Any consideration, again, you can give a contract to anybody you want.
Yeah, I can't give it off a loss. Listen, the judges blew that one. I don't know. It was close, but if you look at power punches, damage done, he had him hurt in the first and the third. Now, where he messed up was, as soon as he would get him hurt, he's shooting on him. He had him hurt bad. Why are you shooting on him? Keep it standing. Keep throwing punches, Little mistakes that he made that he'll learn from and that he needs to fix. He could have finished that fight in the first. He could have finished it in the third. He made little mistakes. You make one mistake in this sport, just like the fight. He lets go of his back, scoots out, and backs up to the fence. In a fight, he's dominating.
Right.
Gets hit with the flying knee. This kid has him hurt twice and shoots on him.
So with Ramazan, did you even consider him really, or just since you thought he lost the fight, did you just kind of rule him out?
Yeah, I thought he lost the fight. He's 5-0, but he needs work. He needs work. You can't come in here and tell me don't blink. You're going in against some really tough people in here, man. You know what I mean? And he looked tonight like he came in with the don't blink because I'm going to knock this guy out attitude. And he ran into a really tough guy and had a rough night.
If the judges have given the fight to Jordan, would you consider taking him?
What's that?
If the judges have given the fight to...
I would have taken him. Yeah, I would have taken him if the judges scored it right.
You said the third fight was weird. Is that another way of saying it's not the kind of fight that you want to see on Contender Series?
Which one? The awkward fight?
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, that fight, I mean, the striking was bad. When I say awkward, when you have a kid, you know, who's so good at jiu-jitsu and they're still that young and green, you see a huge, you know, difference in the ground game to the stand-up game, and he's one of those guys. And when you're striking, you know, when I throw a jab, I expect him to do something. When I throw a right hand or a hook, I expect where he should be, and those guys aren't where they're supposed to be, and it makes for a very awkward fight. And yeah, I don't want to shit on the guys. You know, they're both tough guys. They're both good. You know, they need work. They need work, and they're not ready.
What do you do with a guy like Williams who has been on the show a couple times? You said you would have signed him if he had had the decision his way. So is he somebody that you consider bringing back?
Well, it's one of those things where this kid needs to. He's got everything it takes to be in the UFC. I mean, he's tough. He's got heart. He's got talent. He hits hard. His ground game is good. He took a flying knee that would have knocked most people out and kept coming. Didn't even flinch. Shook it right off. But he made mistakes in the fight. He made mistakes in the fight that cost him the decision with the judges. And I think he could have finished the fight if he would have kept his head. Why are you got this guy wobbling around? Why are you shooting on him? Why would you shoot on this guy when you have him hurt like that twice? You know, he made little mistakes that can kill you in this sport.
Dana, for Sean Woodson, how long will it take for you to actually give him a fight in the UFC and actually let him work on his takedown defense?
I don't know. I don't know how fast we'll turn these guys around. But in a perfect world, as soon as possible, I would love to turn all these kids around, you know, while their fights are fresh in everybody's heads. Cool? Thank you guys. Appreciate it.